Have any of you ever been asked a question, are you sitting down? I see nods. I see nods. How many would agree that usually when you get that question, it's usually never a good thing? There's value in everything we face. It was 2017, September of 2017 to be exact, or received such a phone call. To give you some context, as was said, Caribbean American, I grew up in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. And in 2017, that was a heavy hurricane season. We got hit by not one, but two Category 5 hurricanes. One on September 6th, which was Hurricane Irma, and the next one about 2 weeks later on September 19th with Hurricane Maria. After the first hurricane hit, if you can imagine, mass destruction swept across the Caribbean. I remember reading a New York Times, after the fact, a New York Times article that said, what Hurricane Irma didn't destroy, Maria drowned. So I lost communication with my family, particularly my father, who was on island at the time. The worries and thoughts that were going through my mind after that point. It's the Saturday before Hurricane Maria hit. I got a voice message, and I played back the message. It was my dad. Mike, boy, you know, I'm battered and bruised, but I'm all right. The relief. However, we couldn't get him off the island. On September 20th, I got a call from my childhood friend Andy, who lives in California, but calling me here in Maryland, asking me that question. Mikey, you're sitting down? And, you know, I don't know how to tell you this, Mikey. I don't know how to tell you this. He said, your father gone. Your father is gone in the Queen's English. At some point during the night, September 19th going into the 20th, the early morning hours of the hurricane, we lost my dad in the midst of the storm. Needless to say, I was devastated. Many, if not most of you, I don't know if any, can identify with losing a loved one in a Category 5 hurricane. However, who in the room, by show of hands, can identify with an emotional Category 5 hurricane? Financial loss, job loss, health scares. So I know you can identify with an emotional Category 5 hurricane. What I'm going to share with you today kind of stems from my experience losing my dad in the middle of Hurricane Maria. Some strategies and tools put in place in my life, but there are ways to, one, mitigate the effects of stress. Two, deal with stress as it's happening. And three, recover from stress as well. And how you too can use those tools to build your resilience, block burnout, boost your well-being so that you can strengthen yourself for the next Category 5 hurricane. Change. Who likes change? Anybody likes change, or do we just like change? I'll volunteer myself. I'm good with change when I'm the one doing the changing. Anybody with me on that? Overload. Who can identify with overload? I just reflected back and realized there were some practices that I put in place in my daily life that helped me build my resilience. And I want to share those with you. And then what we want to do is breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold it for 4 seconds. Breathe out for 4 seconds. Make adversity your advisor, not your adversary. I will make adversity my advisor, not my adversary. Are we in agreement?